So today, November 14th in 1960, was Ruby Bridges' first day at her new integrated elementary school, right? 6-year-old Ruby Bridges, he attends what had been an all-white elementary school, has to be escorted in by federal marshals every single day of the year. She's not allowed to eat any of the food at the school because they're afraid that she might be poisoned. Like, terrible, but an enormous step forward for the civil rights movement. What I want to focus on today is thinking about all of the community, both seen and unseen, behind Ruby Bridges that allowed that to happen. Because I think today, when we think about protests and activism, we think of the poster person. We think of Dr. King, we think of Rosa Parks, we think of Ruby Bridges, and I think it's almost more important and more inspirational and attainable to a lot of us to think about all of the other people that were doing what they could, even if it seemed small or insignificant or not enough, to help push progress forward. So we could think about Barbara Henry, who was an educator from Boston who came down to be Ruby Bridges' teacher. She was in a classroom of one. None of the white students were allowed to be in a class with her. It should be noted that there were white families in New Orleans who were like, I want my kid to go to school. I'm fine with my kid being in that classroom. But the administration wouldn't allow it. And just for like security reasons, she had to be taught alone all year. But there was this wonderful teacher who came down and treated her just like every other kid. There was a child psychiatrist, Robert Coles, who volunteered to come and give her counseling, like throughout the entire first year. And more than that, he also had a family friend send really nice clothes and dresses and shoes throughout the entire year. Ruby Bridges found out later on when she was an adult that that's where all of those clothes had come from. This like beautiful, pristine dress that she was photographed in. She said, my family could have never afforded that. I had no idea where the clothes came from. They came from, again, like this network of people who thought that this was right and they wanted to do what they could, even if it was as simple as like sending a nice dress to a 6-year-old girl. There's a 34-year-old Methodist minister named Lloyd Anderson Foreman who broke the white family's boycott and walked his 5-year-old white daughter into the school and was like, I want my girl to get educated, right? Kind of takes this first step and just as simple as like, I'm going to take my kid to school. I'm going to walk through this crowd of my neighbors, my community members, people that go to my church, and I'm going to defy them by bringing my kid back into her school. The most important aspects of being an activist, of deciding that you're going to get involved in these movements that you believe in, is being able to set your ego aside and understand that you are most likely not going to be Ruby Bridges. You're most likely not going to be Dr. King. Your face is not going to be on famous Norman Rockwell paintings. You are probably going to be a mostly unseen, unknown person who sends dresses in the mail. You're going to be someone who offers to do your job and teach. You're going to be someone who writes letters to people. You're going to be someone in the background who's doing really important work that most other people might never really know about. It's just as important and it's necessary to the movement, just like getting up on a stage and giving a big speech.